Welcome to Season 3, Episode 2 of the SHODcast. Your host, Sean Klein. Alongside me in the upper right corner is Mike Height. In the upper left, Matt McKenney. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Hey guys.
Enjoying your off season?
Very much so. It's been great summer, good weather. Been able to hang out outside a little bit, which is great. And looking forward to fantasy football season that's coming up very, very soon.
This week, draft week. Mike, you got to be excited.
Cannot wait. Been doing lots of draft prep. Obviously the schedule events is fun to look at and get excited for. And, I know that Matt and I are getting up and playing golf, playing 18 holes first thing Friday morning, and then we're playing some more golf when we get to Rushford. So,
well, let's get into that schedule.
It's right up my alley.
Love it. Let's get into that schedule. We're going to talk about both Friday and Saturday. But first,
Who's that Pokemon?
Who's that Pokemon? Here were your hints from the first episode of the season that happened in the offseason. Your 2015 AFC East wide receiver. He racked up 212 points in the show, and he teamed up with Freddie Jackson on Show Me Dem TDs. Any guesses, gentlemen? No guesses.
I'm kind of wondering if maybe that's Eric Decker on the Jets.
I think that's too early.
Eric Decker.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Eric Decker. Wow, what a mug.
That's not a very
I
flattering
would have thought he
picture,
was still on the Broncos at that time.
No. He was on the Jets. He played on a lot of teams, didn't he? He was on the Titans, obviously here. He was on the Jets. He played on the Broncos. And I feel like there was another team like Miami or something. I don't know. But it's draft week, gentlemen. Let's talk about Friday night. What's happening on Friday night? Matt, let's let you start this. You kind of spearheaded a lot of these projects. What are you looking forward to Friday and into Friday night?
Well, so for Mike, obviously, preface this by saying that we're going to be getting some golf in, which is going to be great. We're going to start playing at Rushford around 12. And then, we should be hopefully getting the majority of the Friday participants by, late afternoon, early evening. We are planning on hopefully having a nice steak dinner and then maybe heading out on the pontoon boat for a couple of drinks and to enjoy the sunset. And then the very exciting show documentary should be aired that evening, which obviously you, Sean, have put a lot of work into, and I'm very excited to have everybody watch and enjoy.
Excited to unveil it. Mike, what are you looking forward to? You talked a little bit about golf, and obviously you're really competitive in golf. What's it going to be like without having to golf against Rob this year, or if he does go out, like he's not going to be able to hit the ball the same, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't think he's going out. He's not gonna be Blade Runner out there on the golf course, unfortunately. Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, it's always fun to play against Rob. I do have a tendency to play down to him, whenever we seem to play against each other. I'm clearly the better player, but yeah, I don't know. It's disappointing he's not gonna be able to play. As soon as I saw the picture of him hobbled after the injury, I knew. Well, he and I were supposed to play golf Friday up here in Rochester. And then obviously that as soon as I saw the injury, we made alternate plans. But I don't know. We're still gonna have fun. I mean, it's the draft weekend. Like, I'm really not focused on playing good golf. I'm focused on having a good time, and can't wait to watch the documentary. Like Matt said, you've put a lot of work into this. Can't wait to see the final product, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch with everybody.
Yeah, and that documentary will also be on YouTube within that night. We're actually getting it published this week and scheduled to go up Friday night at Matt. Was the time 9 p.m.?
Yeah, I think the time is a little bit fluid because it really depends upon when we actually get back to, Fume's cottage after getting on the boat and stuff. So I would say, 8, 9 o'clock is probably a reasonable time to consider, the starting of that documentary be a good guess.
All the more reason to subscribe. Saturday is the big day. This is when the draft happens. Mike, what are you most excited about to see with this year's draft? Obviously, you've put a lot of prep into your work. I think all of us have. What are you hoping? Well, without showing us your cards, what are you hoping this day plays out to be?
I mean, to be honest, like I'm just really excited to be back in the auction atmosphere. Like after having to miss last year for a wedding, like and having to send a proxy in my place, I just the auction itself is legitimately like the best day of the year. Snake drafts just don't compare at all. It's over in a blink of an eye, and there's just guys that depending on where you're drafting, you just have no shot at getting. The auction, everybody has a shot at everybody. If you blow your load early, that's on you. But it's just the best form of fantasy football. And so draft strategy, you shouldn't really go into an auction with a strategy, like because you have no idea what player values are going to be. And if you do, you're probably going to end up not drafting the best team that you could have. So I don't really have a draft strategy. Obviously, I have guys that I like, but I again, just like golf, like I obviously want to draft a great team, but I'm just like excited to be back in the auction. It is so much fun. You do have those guys that you want to draft, and when one of those guys gets nominated, and then you just get into like an auction, bidding war with somebody else, it's one heartbreaking if you don't get the guy that you want, but it's also fun strategy to kind of, if you know that guy really wants somebody, you kind of back off and maybe let them end up paying more money than they probably should. Like all of that stuff involved in it just makes it that much more fun. So I can't wait until we start drafting.
And Matt, we have a lot more than just the draft going on Saturday. Tell us a little bit about what the day is going to look like. Do we have an itinerary yet? I know a lot of people have been asking for that draft day itinerary. When's it coming down?
Yeah, I think we'll get the specifics on that this week at some point in time. I know Vince is working on releasing an actual draft day itinerary. We have kind of a rough draft, but as far as the draft ceremony and the intro and stuff, that's going to be released very shortly. But the rough outline is going to be breakfast in the morning, just probably thing for the people that were there overnight and into Saturday. And then, probably just kind of hang out in the morning and relax, do some last minute studying and prep and setup and stuff. And then, we'll get started with lunch right around noon. We got Grizz bringing pizzas for us. Nice enough to scoop those up from the Bella Boston. I actually just ordered our pizza this last weekend, and they were very happy to accommodate us. Didn't look at me funny. They were just like ready to go and ready to get us some pies cooked up. So that'll be at noon, and then draft should start. Hopefully right around 1-ish in terms of the opening ceremony stuff. Obviously we got a little bit of wiggle room if we can't get the plane off the ground right at 1, but hopefully the idea is to get through this draft in a relatively timely manner so we can be done by 5 or 6, and really enjoy the evening, on what looks to be a beautiful day. For dinner, we got plans for, kind of a smorgasbord of stuff. We're going to do grilled fingers, grilled pizza logs, probably some burgers and hot dogs. So there'll be plenty of options for people, which will be fun. And then obviously probably just a lot of shenanigans and campfire and whatever else the night takes us, I'll bring some poker chips and stuff. We'll figure out whatever happens, I guess.
So that leads me to the final question about the weekend is what are you most excited about? There's 2 days of activities. Other than the draft, what are you most looking forward to? Matt, let's go with you first.
Well, that's a tough question because there's so many things I'm looking forward to and so many things I'm excited about. I guess in general, it's just nice to be able to see everybody because we really don't get a chance to spend time with everybody in the league, um, you know, really much at all during the year, like throughout the whole year, and to get everybody together. Um, I think right now, obviously, jury's still out on Brian Becker, but Neil's the only one who's going to be not in attendance from the league, and obviously he's got good reason for that. He moved out to California and he's very busy with work and he's got new bosses, so he's got to be showing face. So it makes sense that he's not able to be there with us. But I know he's very disappointed that he can't be there. He's was really hoping to be able to make it, um, but nonetheless, I mean, just being able to spend time with everybody in the league. I mean, we've grown so close together over the years, and we, are talking daily with one another. So it's just great to, spend some time face to face with everybody.
I've heard some rumors that we'll have more than just the 14 teams in attendance. Is there any truth to those rumors? Like, would we have any past members show up?
I guess you'll just have to wait and see.
Mike, what are you most looking forward to? Friday, Saturday? You got a lot to choose from here.
I mean, I can't put my finger on just one. Like Matt said, like just the entire weekend, I'm just very excited for. I mean, some of these guys I haven't seen in 2 years, so getting to see everybody. Like I love, lake life is kind of my favorite thing. So spend time in the lake. These grilled pizza logs I've heard about. Very excited about those. Never had one of those before. So that definitely piqued my interest when I heard that. And like I said, 36 holes of golf and auction. Matt's bringing poker chips. Definitely want to get involved in that. The way to cap it off for me is just have a couple beers and hang out by a campfire Saturday night. Like I feel like that's the perfect ending to the weekend.
And do you have any?
What about you, Sean? What are you excited
Well,
about?
I'm actually most excited about two things. One are my shenanigans with Lacombe. That's undoubtedly going to happen somewhere. That's number one.
What kind of what kind of shenanigans are you talking about?
Herbal shenanigans. But that's gonna happen, and then the thing I'm actually most looking forward to is seeing how my work has paid off. I feel like the last few years that I've drafted, I don't draft the team that I really went in wanting to draft, and I'm hoping this year is going to change that. So
That's saying something considering you won a Shofi 2 years ago.
well, and that was probably one of the most controversial years too, because I think that was the year that I faded QB entirely, but then I ended up trading for Josh Allen uh, through Saquon Barkley and ended up winning the championship that way. But obviously a lot's changed in the past 2.5 years. I got a different strategy this year, and I'm excited to see if it actually can come to fruition because, like I said in the past, I think I've got stuck in on bidding wars and things like that that I didn't really have any business being in, and I'm making it a point to stay out of it this year.
Well, Mike brought up a good point about auctions, and that is, you gotta have your targets, you gotta have your players you want, but the key is backup plan. You gotta have your backup plans. You gotta have a player or players you can go to if things are just getting out of control for the target you really had your eye on. Because worst thing you can do is overpay for one or multiple players and end up jeopardizing the rest of your team. So,
Well, and
um,
that's kind of it too. Like one of the interesting things about auction is you don't really know how they're going to play out. Like something could surprise you, and running backs are just going a lot more expensive than you really expected them to, and then that's going to mean like wide receivers either taper off or something else tapers off somewhere. But you're not going to know that until the draft actually starts. So what is all this prep for?
Yeah, it's one of the cool things about the draft is like you never really know where everybody's head's at until you actually get in that auction room and like actually start going through things because it's just impossible to know. I mean, we're all kind of consuming the same media, online and podcasts and YouTube videos and blogs and articles and Twitter. It just you never really know what people are going to absorb and what they're going to go after, and you know what players you like that are going to be kind of hyped up through those things, or who everybody's got their eyes on. So it's fun and at the same time not fun finding out what everybody what everybody wants.
The show is just too smart. Like I feel like a lot of the stuff that you read and see in mainstream media about sleepers and things like that are for like these basic leagues that no one's really putting any thought into. But in the show, everyone's sharp.
Yeah,
So,
it's fun.
you're looking at these guys that should probably be going for $1, but you're thinking, well, everyone else is thinking that too, so it's probably going to go for like $3 or $4.
Yeah, I make it a point to listen to Silva and Levitan pretty much every day, and it's funny they talk about home leagues like they're just these dumb people, and it's like, well, that's not the show. Like everybody kind of knows what they're doing. Everybody's like up on the latest news. They know who the targets are. They know who, you know, they know how much everybody's worth pretty much. There's a little bit of variance and a little bit of variable, but we know kind of what the auction value is going to be for each player and where they kind of fall on the list. So it's hard to get edges against players that are really sharp, and the show is kind of full of them, really.
I am so excited to see what this turns into on Friday and Saturday. So excited to be there with you guys, and I'm really looking forward to it. One more thing before we go for the day.
Who's that Pokemon?
We can't leave without another Pokemon. Here are your hints. 2009 NFC East wide receiver. He actually played in that weird wide receiver tight end flex position that we had at the time during the 2009 championship, and he averaged 3.2 points per game that year. Any guesses before we move on?
This feels like it might be a Jeremy Maclin slip in here for Vince's team. I don't know if he was in the championship in 2009, but
I'm going to go.
Mike?
I'm going to guess either Victor Cruz or Miles Austin.
I got to say, all of those guesses are off.
Wow.
Completely off.
It's going to be some weird Redskins guy, probably.
Redskins guy?
Yeah.
Did the Redskins have any wide receivers in 2009?
I don't know.
Like I can't even name one person on that squad.
Antoine Randall.
Oh yes. But it's not Antoine Randall.
So one thing I just want to say, I think that the weekend aspect of this, I think, just adds this whole dynamic of I feel like, Klein, I don't know if it's going to be you, but I feel like someone's going to get really banged up on Friday night, and they're going to really struggle to make it.
Hey, that needs to be in the strategy.
Unit sitting there. Like, I hope, well, I mean, I'm obviously going to try to do my best I'll be sitting down an hour and a half before we start, to get a shade spot, but I hope whoever it is just sitting there baking in the sun and just the most miserable they've ever been in their entire life.
Yeah. We got to make sure somebody doesn't slip anybody a Roofalin on Friday night for a draft edge.
A Quaalude. Quaalude. They don't even wake up for the draft. They're still
Quaalude would be
sleeping.
good. Yeah.
Well, that's all we got for you today.
Steve Madden.